There's something undeniably powerful about choosing yourself, about stepping away from what no longer serves your highest good. When you make that brave decision to move on, you not only reclaim your energy, but you also awaken the truth within you. Your worth is infinite, and your light cannot be dimmed by someone else's indecision. Today, let's talk about why your decision to move on has shifted the energy around you, and why, despite his silence or absence, he can't seem to get you off his mind. When you decided to move on, something profound happened within you. You reclaimed your power. This wasn't just about walking away, it was about rediscovering the strength that had always been within you, even when you doubted it. For so long, you may have poured your energy into someone else, hoping they would see your worth, meet you halfway, or offer you the love and respect you deserved. But over time, you realized that waiting for someone to value you was costing you something far greater, your connection to yourself. Taking back your power is an act of self-love and courage. It means recognizing that your happiness, your peace, and your sense of worth can never be tied to someone else's actions, approval, or attention. It means no longer giving someone the ability to dictate how you feel about yourself. When you moved on, you did something many people find difficult. You chose yourself, even when it wasn't easy. Possession, at first, it may have felt uncomfortable or even painful. Letting go of someone you once cared about, someone you invested so much in, can feel like losing a part of yourself. But that's the illusion, because the truth is, you didn't lose anything. You gained everything. You stepped out of a cycle that was draining you, and you reclaimed all the energy you had been giving away. This energy is now yours to nurture, to heal, and to grow. Taking back your power doesn't mean you stop loving or caring. It doesn't mean you erase the memories or dismiss the connection you once shared. What it means is that you stopped waiting for someone to fulfill you. You stopped giving them the power to validate your existence or determine your worth. You realized that the love you were searching for outside of yourself could only truly be found within. When you made that choice, you began to shift in ways that are both visible and invisible. On the outside, people might notice that you carry yourself differently now. Maybe there's a new lightness in your step, a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. You smile more, not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer weighed down by someone else's inability to meet you where you are. On the inside, the transformation runs even deeper. You started to see your value in a new way. You began to understand that you are worthy of love, not because of what you do for someone, but simply because you exist. This realization is powerful, and it changes everything. You no longer settle for breadcrumbs when you know you deserve the feast. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into someone else's world because you've realized your world is expansive, vibrant, and worthy of being fully lived. As you took back your power, you also began to recognize the patterns that held you back in the past. Maybe you noticed the ways you ignored red flags or made excuses for behavior that hurt you. But instead of blaming yourself, you chose to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing what happened. It means releasing the hold it had on you. It means freeing yourself from resentment, so you can move forward without carrying the weight of the past. And here's the beautiful thing. When you take back your power, you inspire others, whether you realize it or not. People notice when someone steps into their worth. They feel the shift in your energy, even if they can't explain it. For the person you moved on from, your absence becomes a mirror. It forces them to see what they lost, to confront the space you once filled. They may not say it out loud, but deep down they feel the difference. But taking back your power isn't about them. It's about you. It's about recognizing that your life is yours to shape, your dreams are yours to pursue, and your happiness is yours to claim. It's about understanding that You don't need anyone else to complete you because you are already whole. This journey of reclaiming your power is ongoing. There will be days when doubts creep in or when old wounds resurface. That's okay. Growth isn't linear and healing takes time. What matters is that you've made the choice to honor yourself, to prioritize your well-being, and to trust that the universe has something greater in store for you. So as you move forward, remember this: you are stronger than you know, and your power is your birthright. No one can take it from you unless you allow it. Keep choosing yourself, keep honoring your worth, and keep walking the path of self-love. Because when you take back your power, when you made the decision to move on and reclaim your power, something remarkable began to happen. Your energy shifted. You stopped chasing, stopped overgiving, and stopped waiting for someone else to validate your worth. Instead, you redirected all of that energy inward. By choosing yourself, you unintentionally became magnetic, radiating a kind of inner strength and confidence that people can't help but notice. Energy is a powerful force. It doesn't lie, and it can't be hidden. The energy you carry within you is felt by everyone around you, even if they can't put it into words. When you were stuck in a cycle of seeking approval or clinging to someone who couldn't appreciate you, your energy may have felt scattered, desperate, or drained. But when you let go of that struggle and turned your focus inward, you began to realign with your true self. That alignment creates a magnetic field around you that draws in curiosity, admiration, and even longing from others. People are naturally drawn to authenticity. When you stopped pretending to be okay with less than you deserved, you stepped into your truth. You let go of trying to control how others saw you or how they felt about you, and in doing so, you became freer. That freedom is magnetic because it reflects a kind of self-assuredness that so many people lack. It's not arrogance, it's the quiet confidence of knowing who you are and what you're worth. Your energy became magnetic because you stopped giving it away to situations and people who didn't value it. Imagine your energy as a precious resource. When you were pouring it into someone who couldn't or wouldn't reciprocate, you were depleting yourself. But the moment you decided to move on, you stopped leaking energy. Instead, you started to conserve it, nurture it, and channel it back into yourself. That shift creates an undeniable glow, an aura of strength and self-respect that others can't help but notice. What makes your energy so captivating now is that it's no longer tied to anyone else's validation. You're no longer seeking approval or attention. You've realized that everything you need is already within you. This detachment is powerful. People are naturally drawn to those who don't need anything from them. It's not that you've become cold or unapproachable. It's that your self-sufficiency and inner peace make you stand out in a world where so many are still searching outside themselves for fulfillment. And here's the thing, even the person you moved on from can feel this shift. Energy transcends distance and silence. They may not be able to explain it, but they can sense that something about you has changed. The version of you that was once so readily available, so eager to please, is no longer there. In its place is someone who has grown, someone who has chosen to prioritize their own well-being. This shift is felt deeply, and it often leaves them wondering about you, replaying memories, and even longing for the connection they once had with you. Your magnetic energy also stems from the fact that you've started to pour into yourself. Maybe you've picked up new hobbies, focused on your personal growth, or taken better care of your mind, body, and soul. This kind of self-investment shows. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you interact with the world. You've become a beacon of self-love and self-respect, and that kind of energy is irresistible. It's important to note that this magnetism isn't about making anyone else notice you. It's about you noticing yourself. When you move on and begin to value yourself, you start to see all the things that make you unique and beautiful. You become your own source of validation, and that self-assuredness radiates outward. Your magnetic energy also inspires others. People are drawn to those who exude confidence and peace because it reminds them of what's possible. Your journey of letting go and choosing yourself serves as a silent encouragement for others to do the same. Without even trying, you become a light for those who are still searching for their own strength. As you continue to focus on yourself and align with your truth, your magnetism will only grow. The right people, opportunities, and experiences will be drawn to you naturally, not because you're chasing them, but because your energy is a match for the life you're creating. And those who couldn't appreciate you before, they'll feel the pull of your energy too, but this time they'll realize that your worth isn't something they can take lightly. Remember, your energy is magnetic because it's rooted in self-love, self-respect, and authenticity. It's a reflection of the work you've done to heal, grow, and rediscover your worth. You don't need to do anything to make others notice you. Simply being in alignment with yourself is enough. And that, my dear, is the true power of moving on. When you walked away, you left behind more than just an absence. You left a void. That space you once occupied, filled with your energy, love, and presence, is now empty, and it's undeniable. At first, he might not have noticed. Maybe he thought the world would carry on the same without you, that someone else could step in and take your place, or that you would always be there, lingering in the background. But over time, the reality begins to set in. The void you left behind is not something anyone else can fill. It's uniquely yours, shaped by the light you brought and the care you gave. People often underestimate what someone truly means to them until that person is no longer there. While you were present, it was easy for him to take your energy for granted, your kindness, your support, your understanding. It was all readily available, and perhaps it seemed like it always would be. But when you decided to prioritize yourself, to step away from anything that didn't honor your worth, you removed that energy from his life. And that's when the void became impossible to ignore. The void you left behind isn't just about your physical absence. It's about the emotional space you once filled. It's the conversations that no longer happen, the laughter that no longer echoes, and the comfort that's no longer there. It's the moments of connection that can't be replicated with anyone else, because those moments were uniquely yours. He feels it in the silence, in the routines that now feel incomplete, and in the small, everyday things that once seemed insignificant but now serve as constant reminders of your absence. You see, your presence wasn't just about being there. It was about what you brought into his life. You brought light where there was darkness, understanding where there was confusion, and love where there was emptiness. That kind of energy doesn't just disappear without leaving an impact. When you took that energy back, it left a space that he didn't know existed until it was gone. At first, he might have tried to ignore the void. Maybe he distracted himself, filled his time with other people or activities, or convinced himself that he was fine without you. But voids have a way of making themselves known. No amount of distraction can fully cover the emptiness left by someone who truly mattered. The things he once took for granted now stand out in sharp contrast. The way you made him feel, the way you understood him, the way you were always there. Those things aren't so easily replaced. As time goes on, he starts to realize that your absence isn't just a gap, it's a loss. He feels it in the moments when he needs someone to confide in and realizes you were the one who always listened. He feels it when he encounters something that reminds him of you and there's no one there to share it with. He feels it in the quiet moments when he's left alone with his thoughts and the weight of what he's lost becomes undeniable. But here's the truth. The void you left behind isn't just about him. It's also about you reclaiming your energy and your power. When you decided to walk away, you chose yourself. You chose to stop pouring into someone who wasn't reciprocating, to stop giving your time and love to someone who didn't fully appreciate it. And by doing so, you created space in your own life, space to heal, to grow, and to focus on what truly fulfills you. The void he feels is a testament to the impact you had. It's a reflection of the love and energy you brought into his life, even if he couldn't see it at the time. But that void isn't your responsibility to fill. You gave what you could, and when it was no longer serving you, you chose to let go. That choice was an act of self-love, and it's one of the most powerful things you could have done. As he feels the void you left behind, it's a reminder for him to reflect on his own actions and choices. Maybe it's an opportunity for him to grow, to recognize the ways he took you for granted, and to understand the value of what he had. But whether or not he learns that lesson is not your burden to bear. Your journey is about you, about honoring yourself, building a life that aligns with your worth, and surrounding yourself with people who see and appreciate the light you bring. The void you left behind is real, and it's felt deeply. But it's also a sign that you made the right choice. You are no longer giving away your energy to someone who didn't cherish it. And in doing so, you've created the space for something greater. The void may remain for him, but for you, it's an opening, a doorway. When you walked away, you didn't just leave a situation that no longer served you. You embarked on a journey of growth, a journey that transformed you in ways he never imagined. At first, he might not have noticed. Perhaps he thought you'd remain the same person, holding on to the same patterns, waiting in the same place. But that was never your destiny. You chose to evolve, to heal, and to rise beyond what he ever thought you could. Growth is a quiet revolution. It doesn't announce itself with grand gestures or immediate changes. Instead, it unfolds in the small, consistent decisions you make to prioritize yourself. It's in the way you stopped seeking his approval and started giving that approval to yourself. It's in the way you began to set boundaries, not out of anger, but out of love for your own well-being. It's in the way you chose to learn from the pain rather than let it define you. He never expected you to grow because he underestimated your strength. When someone is used to seeing you in a certain light, especially if that light revolves around them, it's easy for them to assume you'll always stay that way. But the moment you chose yourself, you shattered those expectations. You began to bloom in ways he couldn't have predicted, ways that don't require his validation or presence. Your growth caught him off guard because it was rooted in your independence. He may have been used to you leaning on him, seeking his attention, or revolving your energy around him. But now your focus has shifted inward. You've discovered that your power lies within you, not in anyone else's hands. That kind of transformation is both inspiring and unsettling to someone who didn't expect it. As you grew, you let go of the version of yourself that stayed small to make him comfortable. You stopped shrinking to fit into his world and started expanding into your own. You found your voice, your purpose, and your passion. And with each step forward, you became someone new, someone stronger, more self-assured, and more aligned with who you're meant to be. And he never expected you to heal as deeply as you did. Often people assume that when they leave, they'll leave a permanent wound behind, but you proved otherwise. Instead of staying stuck in the pain, you used it as a stepping stone. You let it teach you, shape you, and ultimately free you. Your ability to turn heartbreak into growth is a testament to your resilience. And it's something he never saw coming. Your growth also challenged the narrative he may have created about you. Maybe he thought you'd always be the one chasing, the one forgiving without limits, the one waiting for him to change. But now he sees that you've rewritten the script. You're no longer playing the role he assigned to you. You've become the main character in your own story, and that shift is undeniable. And even though sometimes things turn out, what surprises him the most is that your growth isn't about him at all. It's not about proving anything, seeking revenge, or making him regret his choices. It's about you stepping into your fullest potential because you deserve to. It's about you realizing that your life is yours to create, and you're no longer willing to let anyone else dictate your worth. As he watches you from afar, he can't help but notice the changes. The way you carry yourself with more confidence, the way you no longer react to his attempts to pull you back, the way your light shines brighter than ever. He sees it in the way others are drawn to you now, captivated by the person you've become. And it leaves him wondering, how did he miss the depth of your strength and the breadth of your potential? Your growth is a mirror for him. It forces him to see the ways he stayed stagnant while you move forward. It challenges him to reflect on the choices he made and the opportunities he lost. But whether or not he chooses to grow from this experience is not your concern. Your path is your own, and the beauty of your growth is that it doesn't require anyone's acknowledgement or approval. It's a gift you've given to yourself. A reminder that you are capable of transformation no matter the circumstances. And as you continue to grow, you'll attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with the person you've become. You've grown in ways he didn't expect, but more importantly, you've grown in ways you didn't even know were possible. That's the true power of choosing yourself. When you invest in your growth, you unlock a future that's brighter, stronger, and more fulfilling than you ever imagined. And that, above all else, is the greatest outcome of your journey. Every day, whether you realize it or not, the universe is orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, and opening doors on your behalf. It's not always obvious, and at times, it may feel like nothing is happening at all. But behind the scenes, there is an infinite intelligence, a powerful force, working to support your growth, your desires, and your highest good. The universe doesn't operate in straight lines or follow human timelines. Its rhythm is intricate, weaving opportunities, connections, and lessons together in ways we can't immediately comprehend. Often, when we feel stuck or believe that nothing is happening, it's because we're expecting things to unfold exactly as we envision them. But the universe sees a bigger picture. It knows the paths you cannot see, the opportunities you aren't aware of, and the growth you need to experience before you're ready to receive what you've been asking for. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't immediately see results. Days and weeks go by where it seems like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, the seed is taking root, gathering strength, and preparing to break through the soil. This is how the universe works. It plants seeds in your life, ideas, opportunities, people, and nurtures them in ways you may not always recognize. Trust that even when you can't see the evidence, the work is being done. One of the ways the universe works on your behalf is by creating space for what you truly need. Sometimes this means things falling apart, relationships ending, or opportunities slipping through your fingers. While it might feel like loss or failure, these moments are often necessary to clear the path for something greater. The universe knows what aligns with your highest good, and when you trust in its timing, you'll begin to see that what's meant for you will never miss you. Think about the times in your life when something unexpected happened, and it turned out to be exactly what you needed. Maybe you lost a job only to find a new career path that brought you more fulfillment. Perhaps a relationship ended, and it allowed you to discover your own strength and independence. These moments aren't coincidences. They're the universe working on your behalf, guiding you toward your true purpose. The key to aligning with the universe is trust. Trust doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for everything to be handed to you. It means showing up for yourself, taking inspired action, and remaining open to the unexpected. Trust means believing that even when things don't go according to plan, there is a higher plan at work. It's about surrendering the need to control every detail and allowing life to unfold as it's meant to. When you trust the universe, you shift your energy. You move from a place of fear and doubt to a place of faith and openness. This shift is powerful because it signals to the universe that you're ready to receive. When you let go of resistance and align yourself with the flow of life, you create a magnetic energy that draws the right people, opportunities, and experiences to you. It's important to remember that the universe communicates in whispers and signs. It speaks through the synchronicities you experience, the gut feelings that guide you, and the doors that unexpectedly open. Pay attention to these signals. They are the breadcrumbs leading you to your destiny. When you're attuned to the energy of the universe, you'll start to notice how everything is interconnected and how even the smallest events are part of a greater plan. Patience is another essential part of this journey. The universe doesn't work on human timelines, and sometimes it may feel like your desires are taking longer than you'd hoped. But trust that delays are not denials. Often, the waiting period is a time for preparation, a chance for you to grow, learn, and become the person who is ready to receive what you've asked for. Even in moments of challenge or uncertainty, the universe is still working for you. Difficult experiences are often the greatest teachers, pushing you out of your comfort zone and helping you uncover your true strength. These moments are not setbacks. They are setups for something greater. The universe uses every experience, every detour, and every delay to move you closer to your purpose. As you move through life, remind yourself daily that you are not alone in this journey. The universe is your partner, your guide, and your greatest supporter. Trust that it has your back, even when the path ahead feels unclear. Your role is to show up, to believe in your worth, and to keep moving forward with faith. When you embrace this truth, you step into a space of co-creation. You and the universe are working together to shape a life that is abundant, joyful, and aligned with your highest self. So release your worries, trust the process, and know that everything you need is already on its way. The universe is always working on your behalf, and its timing is always perfect. When you remove yourself from a situation or a relationship, your absence can speak volumes, far more than words ever could. There's power in stepping away, in choosing silence over engagement, and in giving space where once there was constant interaction. While your presence may have been a source of energy and influence, your absence reveals truths, triggers emotions, and creates a profound shift that cannot be ignored. In a world where people often try to explain, justify, or convince others of their feelings, actions, and intentions, there's a certain strength in choosing not to say anything at all. Your absence is a statement, an undeniable message that communicates far more than any verbal expression could. It reflects self-respect, self-worth, and an understanding that your energy is precious and not to be wasted on those who do not value it. When you step away from someone or something, you stop chasing, you stop explaining, you stop giving endless chances. In that absence, something powerful happens. You stop showing your hand, and in doing so, you create an environment of uncertainty. For the person left behind, it forces them to confront the truth of their actions. Your silence gives them no room to hide, no distractions to fall back on. They are left to sit with the consequences of their behavior, their choices, and the energy they've brought into your life. Often we feel that words are needed to explain ourselves, to express our feelings, or to ensure that the other person understands the depth of what we're experiencing. But the reality is, words can sometimes dilute the truth. Actions, or in this case, the absence of action, are much more telling. When you remove yourself from someone's life, you send a clear message. I will no longer tolerate disrespect. I will no longer engage in a dynamic that doesn't serve my highest good. Your absence forces them to face the reality they've been avoiding. It's easy for someone to continue their behavior when they know you'll always be there to pick up the pieces, to accept their excuses, or to offer another chance. But when you step away, they no longer have that crutch. They're left with the void you created. And that void speaks louder than any words you could ever say. Sometimes the people we care about don't fully realize how much we bring into their lives until we're gone. Our presence may have been taken for granted, our love may have been undervalued, and our efforts may have gone unnoticed. But the moment we leave, they're forced to acknowledge the impact we had. Our absence makes them see what they truly lost. And in that space, they may begin to understand the depth of our value. There's a quiet power in choosing not to engage when someone expects you to fight for their attention, their affection, or their time. It's a reminder that you are whole on your own, that your worth doesn't depend on their validation or approval. In stepping away, you reclaim your power. You refuse to let others dictate your happiness or your peace of mind. It's a point of pride instead of pretending you're not dictating it. A point of pride. You recognize that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to step back and allow the other person to experience the absence they've created through their own actions. When you choose absence, you choose yourself. You choose peace over drama, growth over stagnation, and clarity over confusion. You stop explaining your worth because you understand that those who are meant to see it will do so without the need for constant reminders. Your absence is a reflection of the fact that you know what you deserve, and you will no longer settle for anything less. The void you leave behind can be unsettling for others. It forces them to confront their own feelings, their own shortcomings, and their own need for validation. And while that might make them uncomfortable, it's in that discomfort that they may finally begin to understand the impact of their actions. They may regret not appreciating you when you were present. And in that regret, they may realize the value of what they once had. But ultimately, your absence is not about them, it's about you. It's about standing in your power and knowing that you deserve a life filled with respect, love, and joy. It's about taking the space you need to heal, to grow, and to remember who you are beyond the roles you play for others. It's about showing yourself the same love and care you once gave to others without hesitation. When you leave, you send a message that your energy is not to be taken for granted. And even in that silence, even in the absence of your presence, your worth is undeniable. Your absence speaks louder than any words could ever express. It speaks of self-respect, of strength, of wisdom, and of a love for yourself that cannot be swayed by the actions or inactions of others.